Hello everybody and welcome back to the Fan Forum. Manchester United 3, Charlton 0. We made hard work of it, but we got there in the end and we're through to the semi-finals, so it's something to be very happy about. On our way to our first trophy under Erik ten Hag, potentially. We'll see how the draws go. I think the draws are tomorrow. But we do have a new guest on the forum. We've got a few of the usuals, but we've got a new guest. We've got Kev, we've got Faz, and we've got Ricky. But welcome, Faz, to the forum. It's great to have you on, and can't wait to hear your opinion. But before we get into all of that, I just want to actually give a shout out to Little Sam's art, because he created some amazing artwork, as you can see here, for the United stand, which will be going up in the studio. So if you want some artwork or just want to see some amazing artwork, make sure you follow him on Instagram and Twitter, Little Sam's Art. It is really, really good. I mean, the players and the detail on that is brilliant. And they've even managed to get Adam's wrinkles in there. So he did a very good job with that. I humbled Adam about his age when he brought that in. So it's great. But let's get on to the game, because, I mean, that was amazing. But the game in the end wasn't so amazing, but we still managed to get the result 3-0. Kev, I'll come to you first. Was it just one of them where it was like a training match, really? I thought everyone was in second gear, there was a lot of second string players. Does it prove to you why the first team is the first team compared to a lot of the players that are squad players for us, really? I
think the fact you look that Manchester United and Erik ten Hag had to dig deep in this game. I think we spoke prior to this game and I said, you know, this won't be a walkover. It's Charlton. They're going to bring a lot of fans. This, in theory, is their cup final. They're going to be well up for it. They were. I didn't think they caused us much problems, but again, for Erik ten Hag to revert to bringing on Casemiro, Rashford, Eriksen. I mean, I'm stood in the Stretford end biting my nails with a lot of other fans thinking, we've got a huge Manchester derby coming up on Saturday, and I'm thinking, you wanted them wrapped in cotton wool. Obviously, Dallo might have a bit of a knot there. He's come off. Hopefully, that's a precaution. Everything's building up to this massive Manchester derby on Saturday, and you're thinking, hopefully, everyone can get through it all right. It looks like they have, which is a great thing, but it does show you when you bring on your first team players, and these players have been playing constantly on a run of form in this team, and it makes such a huge difference. I mean, Casemiro comes on, I think he looks, I always say, I call him Clasimiro. That's exactly what he is. Eriksen, you know what you're going to get from him, and they're a total upgrade. You know, whatever you think of Fred and McTominay, I said it the other week, you know, Fred and McTominay are Primark, Casemiro and Eriksen are shopping at Harrods. It's a different superstore altogether, and when you bring them in, the centre of the park, as we spoke about so much before, is such a key area of the field. You win the battle there. The thing is, listen, let's give Charlton a bit of respect today. They've come here, they have given it their all, but they've fallen short. And rightly so, because even the starting 11, what the United team that's out there is still littered with international players. It
is. I think it reminded me, I mean, that we have got a good first 11, but the squad isn't so great, in my opinion. Like, I thought we should be doing better against Charlton. I mean, we got over the line, but I think there was a lot of players that had a chance today and didn't really stand out. I mean, I can't believe we've been playing McTominay and Fred all in that midfield for the last few years, and that's no disrespect to them. I mean, I thought Fred was okay. I thought McTominay was really, really poor.
For the last 10 minutes, you are looking and kind of going, if Charlton score one here, we are in big trouble. And the big guns have come on. 3-0 is, for me, it's not really a fair reflection of the game. You know, Charlton fans can go home and look at that and go, it wasn't a 3-0 game. I didn't think we kind of dominated it. But listen, I'm taking nothing away from it. It's another result, bit like the Everton one, where you look and you go, it's not about the performance, it's about getting through, and it's another step closer to Wembley.
Exactly, and that's the most important thing. I mean, Ricky, another step closer to Wembley, like Kev said. Do you agree with me and Kev in the sense that it wasn't a great performance, but it's good to keep the wins going, keep the momentum, especially going into the derby?
Fantastic to get the win and get into the semi-final. It's fantastic to keep the momentum going. We've won, is it 8 games on the bounce, I think now? I think it is 8 games on the bounce. So yeah, all that's really, you know, really positive, over the moon. I'm absolutely well chuffed that we can now field sort of half a reserve team or 2/3 of a reserve team and still get through. You know, there's been recent years where we've done that and not got the result. So we seem to be getting stronger, not just the first team, but stronger as a squad. Because I was worried about when I saw the lineup, but I did feel we would have even. I know it's only Charlton, but other teams of Aston Villa have lost to a team from the 3rd tier. Newcastle United have lost to a team from the third tier. So with sort of half a team out, if even half a team, we were still the better side, and I felt we were, I wouldn't say completely in control, because I would always wanted the second goal, but certainly pleased that we can now do that, get through a game which would cause us more problems, I think, in recent years.
In hindsight, sorry Ricky, would you have preferred to have gone with a stronger team? You know, to start, get the job done, because I'm a believer of that, and I thought Erik ten Hag sort of got it not mixed up, but the fact that we had to then bring 3 key players on before a Manchester derby. Would you have preferred to, you know, we could have got in a position where we would say 2-0 up, then bring them up, wrap them up in cotton wool? Do you know what I mean?
I've always been a believer in starting with a strong team. I'm not necessarily saying a completely full strength team, but maybe 6 or 7 of the regular starters and 2 or 3 of the ones who do back that, you know, the ones who do get regular games as well, and just maybe one young. We did have one youngster in the team, but to me it was unbalanced. There was like 6 or 7 of the backup players and only a couple of the regular starters. Yeah. To me that was unbalanced. I would like us to have been stronger, hopefully get to a 2 or 3-0 lead, and in this day and age of 5 substitutes, you can take 3 or 4 players off. Yeah. You always got to keep one backup, I suppose, but you can take 3 or 4 players off as soon as you're 2 or 3-0 up, and you won't necessarily get to 2. Everybody always thinks it's dead easy. Football isn't as easy as that, but give yourself a chance of getting 2 or 3-0 up, and then make a load of subs.
Well, in a way, we worked out. I mean, Ten Hag got a bit of stick for rotating it against Bournemouth. He ended up being. I mean, he ended up getting through that game.
He seems to be getting it right.
He's getting it right, and that's the good thing, because even though Rashford, Casemiro, Eriksen did have to come on, it wasn't for a long period of time. It was just towards the end of the game. I think it was the last 20-25 minutes or something like that. So it did work out for Ten Hag. Faz, firstly, welcome into the fan forum.
Thank you.
Got a few fans in the chat for you as well. And secondly, were you disappointed we did have to kind of bring on them big hitters? Would you rather have kept them rested? How did you feel about the team that you did put out? Kobe Mainoo, did you think he did all right? Or?
I think firstly the team did a fantastic job. You have to identify that this team do not play together regularly. There is no sync in this team. Tom Heaton is not going to know who to whip the ball to straight away and who's making the run, except for Garnacho, who was absolutely on fire. His boots, he's clearly changed his boots, because if you follow me, you know I've been complaining about his boots because he kept slipping last game and in the Wolves game as well. This game, he's on fire. On the other side, you see the players, they seem to be trying to keep up with him. Anthony with his goal, giving us that kind of calm straight away, because in the first 10-15 minutes, you could feel the adrenaline in the stadium from the Charlton side. I think the team did a great job in terms of just hanging in there, getting that first goal, and just seeing it through. Let's be honest, nobody can sit here and tell me that at any given moment, Charlton were a threat. Tell me a point.
No,
they were not in a goal threat. So Ten Hag put a team out there to see how some of the players that are regular starters, Martinez, Dalot, Garnacho, who plays a good few minutes now, how they're performing with players that don't play with them regularly. Now you see, it's called sifting, it's called filtering. Now you see Kobe Mayo, everybody says, Kobe Mayo ball, Zidane Iqbal ball, I want this ball, that ball. Well, guess what? Kobe Mayo's not ready. But guess what? Pellistri is. That's a positive thing to find out today. Now you see, okay, Tom Heaton can actually come out of his line and clear a ball. This is a positive to take from today. Now you're going to see Garnacho can take on real strong fullbacks. He did that against Semedo. Now he did that against today in Charlton game. These are all positive things to take. I understand the concern about bringing in your heavy hitters later on, and I am kind of worried to see that Dalot had to walk off, but I think that was just a precaution, because I was sat right behind Ten Hag, right next to Ten Hag, where I sit, and I was speaking to Beth before, that I get to hear what he's actually saying, and I think it's okay. They were just doing a precaution. Maguire was telling Ten Hag that, you know, just wrap it up, get him off. Bissaka didn't even warm up. He just literally said, just go and see the game through. I'm happy with everything that the boys have done. Marcus Rashford didn't even look like he broke sweat.
No, yeah, I could notice he wasn't running the way he usually was.
That was
he
like
just
a
got the
training
ball.
ground.
Thank you. He just got the ball. Bish bash ball. Job done. Let's go home, shower. See you Saturday, Manchester City. We'll face Skynet and we'll handle business. That's what we'll do.
I'm liking this. I'm liking this. Ed Woodward's actually just put a chat in.
Oh, big
Thanks,
up
Ed.
Ed Woodward.
Man like Faz, Planet Faz. Yeah. So Ed Wood was a fan. Ed Wood was a fan. But no, I agree though, it was job done. What frustrated me a little bit is I actually thought some players that were in the first team, potentially like Fred and McTominay, I mean, Fred was all right. I expected more from McTominay, expected more from the likes of Maguire. They're players that I just did expect a little bit more of in a game like this, because you've got to put it into perspective. I mean, Charlton are in League One. I think the 15th in League One. You've got to be putting the game to them a little bit more. I mean, this team hasn't played together. I take that on. And there's players in there that haven't played much football for Manchester United. I take that on board completely. But there is certain players where I expect a little bit more for you. But let's start with positives, because we did get through and we are through to the semi-final. I mean, Kev, I'll bring it to you. Like Faz has just said, Garnacho is a massive positive. I mean, his first touch is brilliant. I mean, he kept pinging the ball out to him. He's getting into great space. He got told off a few times by the first team. I saw Dalot having a go at him for not passing it to players when he was getting in the box. Erik Ten Hag gave him a massive earful when he was offside twice. So they're keeping him humble, but the future's bright, isn't it?
I was just going to mention the offside thing, and that's one thing I did pick up when I seen Erik Ten Hag kind of going crazy, and Faz like mentioning he's got new boots. He is roadrunner, isn't he? You have to curb that. The enthusiasm from him. It's great for Manchester United fans to see a kid like this coming through. He can only get better. He can be exactly whatever he wants to be, as long as he continues to work hard. He's a breath of fresh air. This is what we want to see at Manchester United. Kids coming through from the youth academy or whatever, through that setup. This is what Manchester United has been built on, and he's brilliant. The way he went about that game today, like you say, every time he gets the ball, the crowd are on the feet, everybody's looking, you expect something to happen, but his first touch today was absolutely on point. And even a difficult kind of ball, any spray passes that went over, he was taking it down, and he just looked a constant threat.
Yeah, he had his defender on toast, didn't he? I think he knew that from the start, and I rate the confidence. I mean, I know Dalot had a bit of a go at him for not passing it off, but I'd be like, I've just beat 3 different men. I've allowed me to have a bit of a shot in this game. Do you know what I mean?
I think for me, it's the first touch brilliant, but as a winger, it's your second touch, which is your bread and butter, because you take the ball down, it's calm, and when you do start football, and what we say, we want direct. He stops the ball, and he doesn't give the fullback second to think as to which side am I going to go. He just stops it, boom, he's off.
Well, he's that quick. He's that quick, yeah. And he's away. And
the fullback is chasing his shadow. I think one of the things that he needs to work on is just his finishing, because he did get a situation where the ball just skimmed off the bar, and if he was, a bit more pinpoint accurate, maybe that could have been a goal. And a few of the times we saw him square the ball, and it's just like straight. Nobody's there to kind of pick it up. And maybe if we had like a Casemiro or Eriksen, they could have got a goal. Dalot even, just missing the post as well. So if you think of it, we could have been 2-3 up before the big boys came in. So yeah.
I've seen a lot of people in the chat saying I've said Fred was bad. I didn't say he was bad. I thought he was decent. I thought McTominay was poor. I thought Fred was decent. And on that point,
I tell you one thing I can do is tell my grandkids that I've seen Fred hit the inside of the post with a free kick.
Brilliant free kick.
I can rest easy saying that.
Free kick.
Nobody expected that where I was stood. Everyone was like, Fred's going to hit this, and then it just went, oh, and it was like, wow, where did that come from, man?
Honestly, one thing I would say about Fred is, under Ten Hag, he's looked a different player. He's sticking to his position. He's making the right passes. His first touch has somehow improved. And do you remember when he used to be shooting like from silly areas outside the box? He's like Ollie on the touchline going, well done, Fred. Like giving the ball away. That's not happening, is it? Like Ten Hag will have told him that's not happening now.
Yeah.
Close touch, passes it off. Some great passes as well. I'm impressed with him. And when he got subbed off, I was confused as to why he was getting subbed off. Faz, potentially, Manchester Derby on the cards on Saturday. Could he be in contention to start?
I'm in absolute 50-50. I have no idea what to do, and I'm glad I don't know what to do, because I'm not being paid to make that decision. It's Mr. Erik Ten Hag. For me, I think reward is important, to reward players when they're playing well, like the likes of Bissaka, the likes of Fred. But I still think when you saw Eriksen and Casemiro come in, and the way these two spray the ball, I mean, Casemiro, we were just having a conversation before, but Casemiro, when he first came into Manchester United, wasn't spraying the ball like this when he first started. All of a sudden now you see these sorts of absolute delicious, beautiful, whatever food you want to call it, pasta, lasagna, the most beautiful passes that he's making to players. Imagine that and Eriksen for Man City. I mean, that would be fantastic. I still think Fred, as much as he's controlling the ball well, being physical and not being bounced around like a little child in the pitch, I still think he lacks that upper echelon passing that we need in that midfield, especially against a squad like Man City.
He could still do a job though.
I'd be
when you think of the midfield combination there. I know, Ricky, you said last time you would choose McTominay for Manchester City, tall, the physical aspect and that. But I said I would actually go with a Fred, a Casemiro and an Eriksen. I think that would be a combination.
So you wouldn't play Bruno against City?
Oh no, I can't go. I can't go with that.
I've not missed him today, have we?
I can't go with that.
No, Bruno would.
Bruno,
I knew it is Charlton, but I still thought we missed his creativity. No, you need legs in the likes of Bruno's undroppable.
Stick him out on the right.
Personally, I'll get stick for that, but he's undroppable. It's got to be Eriksen. That is the one in question. But I still think Eriksen's been great. As you said, it's a very tough decision, and I'm glad I'm not Ten Hag making it, because I couldn't pick between Eriksen and Fred right now for that type of game. We've got a super chat in from Andy McLaughlin saying how much more comfortable is watching United now. Shout out to Faz, and you're all beautiful, and this guy compliments the vibe. Thank you very much for that super chat there. But Ricky, you said you were impressed with McTominay. I thought he was very poor until that pass. Still think he should start for City?
Pass do you mean?
The one through to Garnacho, that was a brilliant pass
through.
through.
Yeah, it was a good ball through, yeah. No, he just works hard, he gets a foot in, he keeps it simple. Obviously, you give it away a few times. I'll be watching it again on screen. I won't mind betting he doesn't give it away anymore than other players on the field. When I said I'd play him against City, I honestly believe that we will have a hell of a lot of defending to do. And despite the great football that City play, and I mentioned this last time we were on, despite the great football that they play, they also offer a massive threat from corner balls and free kicks into the box. We've got Martinez. We've been down this road before away to Brentford. We've got Martinez at centre back, who's 5'8" or
He did all right against that massive defender
again. He'll do all right again. But we're going to need somebody in that midfield who can win headers and then who can also get it back in our own box for free kicks and corners and give us that extra bit of height. Partly because we've got Martinez as a centre back.
Can Casemiro not do that though?
As well, the more the merrier.
For me, he showed nothing in this game that I'd put confidence in him starting. I get the height aspect, but I thought he was slow, I thought he was sloppy, unimaginative. And I thought McTominay's improved under Ten Hag, but recently...
Don't worry about being unimaginative.
I don't think he's talked...
It's about stopping them to start with, getting a foot in, getting your head on the ball, stopping them. That's what it's all about.
I don't think he's talked himself into contention for Saturday. If you were the manager, would you be like, now, McTominay?
I'd be picking him.
Can I be honest? I think you might actually make a good point. You're a good salesman because you've sold it to me somewhat.
Ricky could sell wool to a farm, to a sheep.
But I understand what you mean in terms of headers and etc. Because, as I like to call it, Skynet is in Man City's squad and we need to stop him at any cost. But the thing is, McTominay's positioning and awareness of his surrounding is not the best like you have in Casemiro. Casemiro's always scanning. Not saying McTominay isn't, but Casemiro's always scanning and he's always aware where the ball's going to end up. And same with Martinez.
Can I just say this? We're talking almost as if these players aren't. We're talking about bringing a non-league player in or somebody we know. McTominay's played in numerous games where we've beaten City.
He's capable,
for sure.
He's capable, but I'd pick your best team.
Oh, I agree, but it's horses for courses as well. So what is your best team? Is your best team a team that's got lots of goal scorers in it? Because we ain't going to score loads of goals against them, trust me.
Do you not think also that you shouldn't be picking a player that's out of form and only just really come back into the fold?
That's what
That's a fair argument.
Yeah, the main thing would be that he's just come back from injury, where I'd look and think this is a huge game. You have to be at the races 100%. There is no room for, he's 80% fit, because personally I don't think he's that 80% fit. He's not good enough to compete in a Manchester derby. We've got away with it this evening. It's Charlton. It's a different planet altogether on Saturday, man, against Manchester City.
If McTominay was playing now the way he was playing, when we first bought Casemiro and he was actually keeping Casemiro out of the team for like a couple of games, I mean, that didn't last long. But if he was playing like that now...
we beat Liverpool and we beat Arsenal.
If he was playing like that now, I'd be happy with him to be in the team.
He's not been playing best, has he?
I know, but but when he has played, he's just not been...
I think it's important to reward him or bring him in, but not in the City game. It's just too big. Maybe in the Palace or the Leeds game.
He definitely will get rotated in with the amount of games that we're playing. We've got a chat in from a member, Piazza? I might be murdering that name, sorry if I am. But United stand member for 1 month. Great win tonight. Love seeing my guy Faz on the show. Bring on Manchester City. Come on United. We love that. Anthony Tracy says, did we need to buy Sancho in summer after we signed Garnacho, Palestri and Ahmad? Maybe the pass for the first team to these three was the answer. I mean, Garnacho is the only one out of the three that's ready now, but I mean, Palestri's looking good. Sancho hopefully can come back. We'll have to wait and see on the updates from him. Definitely don't write Sancho off though, I would say. And John Knight says, big up Faz on the panel. Appreciate the super chats, guys. Thank you very much for that. But speaking about another aspect of the game where I thought it was chalk and cheese is we had Martinez next to Maguire, Kev. I mean, Martinez, we're talking, had a great performance, did so well dealing with that massive centre forward. I mean, I know he's a League One player, but he was twice the size of him on the pitch, and he's still. I mean, even if he got beaten, he was instantly there, nicking the ball off him. He did brilliantly, and then you have Maguire, who he needs a good game, and he's just opportunity against Charlton. He's still getting dragged in and getting it past him. And then being unable to turn, it's worrying, isn't it, when you look at it like that? This was a game he needed to have a good game in, and again, you're just not seeing anything.
He's not come out of it with flying colours, no confidence or anything. Harry Maguire's finished at Manchester United. There is no place for him in this squad. Any Man United fan that wants to tell me any different, come at me, because Martinez and Varane are the two starters for Manchester United, and we've seen recently Varane has been injured and Luke Shaw has played better at centre-back than Harry Maguire has ever played for Manchester United. So what does that tell you about the future for Harry Maguire at Manchester United? Today, do you know, I actually thought before the game, I thought, oh, Harry Maguire's playing. I thought, I'm not really that worried. I thought, it's only Charlton. Maybe he's found his level. I don't even think that's his level. And honestly, I'm not saying it to, be outlandish or whatever. That is not his level. I thought he was given a bit of a torrid time this evening. He didn't deal with it. He's shaky. He has no confidence. How does that come? Erik ten Hag is giving him game time recently. He's put him in the team. He's trying to integrate him in. But we all know deep down, Lisandro Martinez, what's that? His first start since the World Cup for Manchester United. Man of the match, hands down the best player on the pitch, considering that guy has been partying in Argentina, whatever the hell he's been up to put in a performance like that this evening, I thought unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. Everything he does, like you say, the size of some of them fellas that were coming at Martinez this evening, no bother to him. And I said it the other week, whatever Graham Souness was on about, Martinez, he's not ready. So many pundits, he's too small. Do you know what I mean? Size does not matter.
Yeah, I think people mistake you thinking that you said Maguire was man of the match then. You didn't say that, you said Martinez.
Sorry, Martinez.
But yeah, I mean, I think the only positive I could say to Maguire's game is he was spreading passes decently over to Garnacho a few times, but apart from that, it was woeful.
It's not good enough, man.
It wasn't. I do think he must be overthinking his game so much. I mean, he's slow as anything. I mean, I was sat there watching him turn thinking, is he going to ever get round? I mean, Faz, what did you make of it? What did you make of Maguire, and then what did you make of Martinez, who was next to him?
Listen, Maguire is like milk that's gone off. That's just the best way you can put it. It's done. Throw it. Done. Rip up the contract. Let him go. He was outside whatever stadium doing whatever, playing golf. I wish he just stayed there and didn't come back to Manchester United. I absolutely have a strong agenda against Maguire. I think he actually brings the team down. He brings the confidence of the team down at certain times as well. All he does is play the ball out wide long. He does not walk with the ball like Varane would do. He does not try and zip the ball like Ten Hag ball and Ten Hag centre-backs would normally do. And he tripped over a few times today, I don't know how. I just do not know how he's tripping over, and he's looking at the ref like someone tripped me over. I just don't understand him. And in all honesty, just in all politeness, thank you very much. See you later. Find a club. Goodbye.
I think that is going to end up happening. I mean, he's not going to be in Ten Hag's first choice 11, especially after performances like that. And you've got to take these opportunities. Another thing I noticed was when the game breaks, when I think it was a Charlton player had a head injury, it was Dalot going over to everyone and giving them pep talks. surely your captain should be going over and doing that. And it's one thing I notice when you're in the ground as well, you see it all, and it's frustrating. But I mean, we won, we can't complain. But it's just annoying that it just seems to be living up to the bad reputation every single
It looks like somebody who's won a competition to play for United sometimes. I used to say that about Fellaini, and I thought it's quite harsh, but I go down the Harry Maguire route now. It looks like one of them people that have just like entered some sort of thing on the United website. Come along, train with us. We'll give you 10 minutes at the end of the game. Come on and play, because I don't know. I'm done with it.
Just to add quickly, it's sad that it's come like this for Harry Maguire, right? We want to be positive for any Man United player, but this man has complained about players that play next to him. He's blamed his partners. He has blamed lack of minutes. He's blamed everything under the sun that he could possibly blame, other than himself, other than having self-reflection, that this man cannot do Never have you seen an interview where he says, you know what, I need to go and I need to reassess my performance.
You are right on that fact.
And the one thing I won't blame him for is the 80 million fee. I never hold fees against players. That is out of their control. That was down to Manchester United. You know, Manchester United agreed to pay that fee for him, so you can't hold that against him. But I think we all know deep down he is not and never will be an £80 million player. But again, that's issues with the club. That's another debate for probably another day. That's how Manchester United is run.
Well, Charlie Nuts put a super chat in saying Maguire got nutmegged by a Charlton player, and that is unforgivable. I mean, he did, you are right. And Retro Demo Scene says, I can wear my United top with pride these days without noisy neighbours and wannabe prank contenders. Times are changing. Well, we are doing quite well at the moment, but we just don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, unlike me on the last fan forum, if you watched that one where I predicted the 6 points in the next 2 games, but we'll see. Anyway, Ricky, bringing it over to you. First of all, do you agree with the comments that I've said? And second of all, Martinez doing it against the big defenders, doing it again, great passing. Is he? I mean, I know at the start you were a bit, but game by game, is he really kind of winning you over?
Oh, he's won me over big time. Yeah, he's a top class player. You know, he's the most important. It's not just his defending; it's the way he feeds the ball into the midfield and the passes that he picks out. You know, he's a top quality player. Luke Shaw's taken his place, by the way, and played equally as well in that position, feeding balls. He's passing into the midfield as well. It's superb. But Martinez, yeah, he's won me over big time, and he's a top player. When I talk about needing like some height in the team for the Derby game, because it's not just the big striker Haaland. You know, they've got tall centre backs who are dangerous. I think John Stones has scored against us maybe even a couple of times in recent years, and then Laporte as well. So I'm not really just I'm not having a go at Martinez about being shorter than the other players, because you can only mark one player anyway. So no matter who he's marking, you know, if he's not marking Haaland, McTominay, I'm talking about McTominay playing obviously, and Varane. You know, McTominay, if he's in midfield, and Varane, they'll be our 2 tallest players. So it doesn't matter that you've got one player who's a bit short. They've got 3 or 4 tall players. We've really got to compete with them. So that's what I'm talking about.
It's that same with Martin.
Yeah, you only mark one person. So it doesn't matter that he's short. Other players are tall as well.
What is it? It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog.
Yeah,
I don't think, you know, a kind of saying like that has ever applied so much to a footballer, and it certainly applies to Lisandro Martinez.
Well, Duncan says thoughts on switching Shaw to centre back and Martinez to left back versus City. Lisandro looked a bit rusty. I don't think he did, but I don't trust Malacia against City. I mean, that definitely won't be happening. It'll be Shaw left back and Martinez left centre back, and that's the way it should be. But appreciate the super chat. And then Ricky, moving on to the forward line, we had this discussion. I said, Ricky, can you finally admit that Rashford's better than Elanga?
Did I ever say he wasn't?
You said your ideal front 3 was Sancho, Elanga and Martial.
Lord have mercy.
That was a while back, wasn't it?
Thank God.
When they were playing regularly.
Yeah.
But when they were playing regularly, I was more than happy with it.
There's a bit of reversing.
No, when they were playing regularly, I was happy with that. Well, Martial wasn't there, was he, at the time?
Yeah, but you still had that.
Yeah, I still would have had Martial there, but I was happy with Sancho. And at the beginning of the season, when we won at Leicester, we beat Liverpool, we beat Arsenal, Sancho and Elanga were playing on the flanks, and I was more than happy with it. Then we signed Anthony. Anthony's taken Elanga's place, really. I think Sancho was still in the side when Anthony started playing. I thought Elanga at the time was hard done by. Really did.
Did you think he showed anything tonight to show he should be back in the team?
Not really. He was playing at centre forward as well tonight, wasn't he? Then he got switched to the wing. But I'm not. I know Anthony scored a fantastic goal. It was a great finish tonight. But I'm not absolutely sold on Anthony either. So there's a few. I'll tell you who I did like. The young lad Palestri who came on. He looks like a proper player.
He does, doesn't he? I like him a lot.
Player. But certainly getting back to Elanga, the way Elanga was playing when he was, because you do need to play regularly. Anthony's playing regularly and isn't playing well. You know, Anthony's getting 10 minutes here. Elanga's getting 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. Starts a game tonight at centre forward. When he was playing regularly at the start of the season on the wing, I was happy with him.
He's definitely not a number 9, Elanga.
Yeah, no,
I
he's
think
not.
we've learnt that this evening.
Leo J says, can I ask for each of yours full team lineup for City? We'll do that at the end of the show, actually, Leo, so thanks for putting that in. And Prime FN says, also, I would like to add that Martinez has won over 60% of his aerial duels.
Over 60%? Well, that's good because he isn't so tall, but it's not good enough for a Premier League centre-back playing for United.
I still think he wins a lot more aerial duels than tall people, though.
No, he doesn't.
He does. He does.
Someone in the comment section find this stat and put and compare Martinez's jumping stats.
Backs tend to be pretty dominant in the air. I'm pretty sure you'll find taller centre backs win more than 60%.
Yeah, but that's a very the new school way of Ten Hag ball isn't that you need tall, big centre forwards, because when the whistle blows and you have a centre forward that you think you're going to get a better of, and he comes in charging and he bashes into you, and then you think, right, okay, I didn't predict this. He's only 5'8", and as a centre forward, you're going to be thinking, firstly, I don't want to get injured. Secondly, I don't want to get into any sort of altercation with this guy, because this Argentinian is actually, you know, as the Stratford is singing, with the cleaver. So, yeah, these all things play a big factor. You can have tall centre-backs who are a bit soft and who don't actually have any clue where they're kicking or heading the ball. Prime example is Harry Maguire.
For example, I would say Lindelof's taller than Martinez, but Martinez is way better in the air. Is that true or is that not true?
Well, Lindelof won't jump.
So I don't think it is necessarily how you say we need McTominay and stuff for height. I don't think it's necessarily all about height.
I think we're just missing a little bit of the point here.
Okay.
We've said a few different things here. All I was responding to was somebody saying that he's won 60% of his aerial duels. Winning 60% of your aerial duels for a Manchester United centre back is not enough.
He said over 60%.
Over 60%. Well.
I mean, we'd have to get the full stats up to know, but I do think Martinez
over 60%.
Look. He's a cracking player. He's doing great, and he's not letting us down.
But I think he's good in the air, Rick.
And he is good in the air. He is good in the air. All I'm responding to is somebody saying that he's won 60% of his aerial duels, and they're putting that forward as if to say that's great. It isn't great. Simple as.
Martinez is top 5 in the league for aerial duels, Ricky. Don't know if that's the fact. We're just getting chats in. So
other only 5% or top 5? Did you say?
He's top 5.
Top 5.
Yeah.
So are we saying that other centre backs are not winning more than 60% of the duels?
Potentially not.
Clearly not. No.
I'll look that up in a second. But he doesn't. He's one of them. I mean, he's great. We can all say he's great. But I do think
he's a top player.
Aerially, people do say about his height, but I think aerially he's
it's
great.
all about timing, I think, as well. He's got a fantastic leap, but again, it's all about timing. I'm not comparing him in any way to Rio Ferdinand, who was a fantastic player at Manchester United, but interception-wise, Rio Ferdinand wasn't known as some tough tackling, defender that lunged in and crunched. He knew, 2 or 3 seconds before that ball got played, what position to be in, what side of the defender to be on. You can't teach that. That's something that just comes naturally.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And moving on to, we were talking about the likes of Elanga, Palestri, them sort of players that, I mean, we've seen a lot of Elanga, but they are kind of on the edge. They're in the squad, but they're not really playing regular minutes. But Palestri is a player that hasn't, I think it was his first time on the pitch today for United, which is crazy really, because he's playing for Uruguay first team football. I mean, Faz, you mentioned him earlier. I think, to me, Palestri looks like a proper right winger that doesn't hold on to the ball too long, can actually pass it out and get into good space and receive it. He uses his right foot, which is important. That's not a dig at Anthony, but it's just like an actual winger that like, kind of sticks to the wing. He put a great pass in and got an assist, but he also looked sharp in other areas of the game. Were you impressed?
I was impressed, but I must say this one thing. Looking back, we can say that he starts for his national side, but he wasn't overly exciting there either. Let's be honest. He didn't light up the scene when he was playing in the World Cup. We must be honest here. On top of that, you must understand the first team have just about managed to somewhat play 40% of Ten Hag football, maybe 50% if you're being generous. If you're asking for a youth player to come in and replicate what Ten Hag wants in a season when he's having to deal with numerous players that isn't his, it's too much to ask for a youth player. Youth players are supposed to be playing next year's ball this year. So come 2024, Ten Hag can take a player and say, right, you're ready, you're going to slot in here because such a person's going out, such a person's injured, such a person's out of form. That's how it's supposed to be. It's seamless and it's synchronized. Palestri has come in now with the short amount of time that he's got today. He's shown positive signs, but then on the hindsight, you have to say Kubimayo, someone who I've watched all last year, numerous games, absolutely amazed me, and I was thinking he is ready. Clearly, he's not ready. So we must manage these players well, because it takes one bad game for all that confidence that you build up on that youth player to be broken down. And you know how fan base are. They've already got a song, Viva Ganacho, at 18 years old. And I'm somewhat I like the song, but I'm against it as well, because they need to be humbled. They need to keep fighting for their position. They need to keep proving that they even deserve some minutes, let alone, you know, these big contracts that these kids ask nowadays. So it's okay. I think he did well, and that's all I can say. The positive is he has a great right foot that we can utilize on the right hand side, unlike Anthony, and I like to call it good headache. This is good headache for Ten Hag, yeah. and hopefully if we end up in like going a bit forward in Europa, going a bit forward in FA Cup, he can maybe say, okay, you know what, actually I've given this kid an opportunity, it's time to reward him a bit more. Here you go, have some more minutes here and there. And when Anthony's looking like he needs to be subbed off, instead of bringing your favourite boy Langa or somewhat favourite boy, maybe we can actually give Palestri some minutes. And he's clearly been hungry all season to get some minutes, right? So
you don't want to overhype these players, do you? We've seen it so many times.
No,
I mean, we're probably guilty of it with Elanga to some extent. The song followed shortly. You know, I thought Elanga was played well overplayed in the Rangnick team, if I'm being totally honest. And at this moment in time, he looks a bit lost at Manchester United.
It does seem like Palestri's kind of bottom of the pile for Ten Hag when it comes to the wingers and forward players. But Ricky, what did you make of him? I can imagine you really liked him from the way you like your wingers to play.
Yeah, I thought he was brilliant. For how long did he get? 10 or 15?
10 minutes, that's it, and he made such an impact.
He made a massive impact in 10 minutes. I think it was 1-0 when he came on, wasn't it? In fact, I'm sure it was. But you've also got to balance that with, you're playing with a team from the third level who were tiring towards the end. United were a little bit like the Everton game. We were playing a little bit on the break the last 20 minutes. They had plenty of the ball. They had a couple of dangerous free kicks as well. You know what I mean? So there was at 1-0 with 20 minutes to go, I was thinking, either A, we need another goal quickly, or B, I'm willing the minutes away, like I said the other day. Do you know what I mean? It was one of them. As much as, like Faz said earlier, they didn't really seem to carry a threat. They never really got close. There was a couple of shots from free kicks that weren't so clever. But you just never know when someone's going to hit a pearl in it, do you? At 1-0 it can happen. Exactly.
If a goal goes in it.
And they had a few breakaways. Malacia got booked for dragging somebody down when they got that free kick. If he doesn't drag him down, maybe he'd go and have a real good threat at that point. So they weren't completely out of it, and it was important that we did get the second goal.
100%, it was nervy, and I was nervous. I always am. I'm still not ever 100% confident, and we're not at that level yet. But I thought he did great when he came on, like you said. And we've got a few more super chats. Prime FN says the exact stat for Martinez is 75%. Well, that's pretty good.
So that's a bit of an upgrade.
75%.
What, he's winning 75% of his
yeah.
headers? That's a lot more than 60%.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if these are actual facts right now that I'm getting in the chat, so take it as a pinch
We
of salt.
trust you, the community. Do not deceive us.
Well, he said before over 60%, and now he said exactly 75. So, I mean, should have said 75 first time. It would have saved you a bit of money as well. But thanks for the super chat. Anthony Tracy says he knocks attackers off balance before jumping. He does do that. I've noticed that.
Excellent, yeah.
And Alex Marman says Ten Hag has said that the replacement of Dalot was precautionary. Also, I would like to see Palestra get more game time and see Elanga develop on loan. Definitely think Elanga needs a loan. He needs to be playing week in, week out. And he needs to be playing his correct position as well, which is on the wing. So hopefully he does end up getting that loan. But actually, I'll stay with you on that, Ricky. Big fan of Dalot, as we all are. Great player. I was gutted when he kind of came off with that little injury. I was hoping it's precautionary. Do you think he'll still start at the derby?
Depending how precautionary it is, yeah. If he's fit to start, he'll start, I'm sure of it.
He's not really had much game time, has he? I mean, he played last game, he played this game. I'm just thinking you want him to be 100% fit. If he wasn't, would you be happy with Wan-Bissaka filling in? Would you be confident?
Yeah, I think Wan-Bissaka's played well recently. You know, I'm not his biggest fan, but I've been more than pleased with him since the World Cup. He's played a few games and done quite well. I think I said this, I can't remember which game it was when Wan-Bissaka did play and he was playing well, but he took him off and Dalot got 20 minutes or so. But you can just see the calmness and the coolness of Dalot and the passing. He just looks a better player to me.
Technically.
He looks a better player, even when Wan-Bissaka's playing well. So if Dalot's fit to start, I think he'll start.
God, I've got another super chat in about the aerial duels. McKelvey says, Lissandro has won 60% this season, Varane has won 75%. Ben Mee, who has won the most aerial duels of any defender in the league, has also won 60%. Stats from the PL website. Thank you, McKelvis, for clearing that up. But I don't get how, if Ben Mee's won the most, then how is it 60 and Varane 75? We'll shelve that conversation for another day. We'll shelve that conversation.
Thank you for the super chat.
For another day. But we appreciate the super chat. I'll come along the panel actually on this one. Faz.
Yeah.
Dalot, would you want him to start? Do you have faith in Wan-Bissaka? Or would you prefer Wan-Bissaka to start? Because some people do prefer him.
I think firstly, Dalot is an extreme professional. He does extra training. He looks after his body really well. And I think he'll be perfectly fine. He's played loads of minutes this season since Ten Hag has come in, and he's looked perfectly fine. He's played loads of minutes for international. He's carried his form from club to country, and after the World Cup, he's just had a little break, and rightly so. But I think he'll be perfectly fine. What you see with Dalot is the attacking kind of bit that he brings to the game, and we don't see that from Bissaka. Bissaka's fast, he can make a challenge, he can clear the ball, and seems like Ten Hag has given Spider-Man his webs back. But Dalot, as you know, his nickname is Spider-Man.
Yeah,
people might be thinking who's Spider-Man, but still, Dalot is the guy because we know that he links up with his winger really well. We know he's able to attack really well, and to be honest, he should have got a goal today as well with his left foot. And against City, considering the last game, I think he would like to get it back in blood, as we like to call it, because ever since he got that yellow card in the City game, his game went off and it was just all going downhill. So I hope he can get some revenge and stop Man City and get us 3 points. So, Dalot.
We hope so. I'm complete agreement with you and Ricky on that. Wan-Bissaka's been better, but Dalot's still massively the first choice. Are you on the same wavelength, Kev?
First choice. If he is fit, anywhere near fully fit, which he would have to be against Manchester City, it's the threat of getting forward. Against Manchester City, you look at that role, it's so important in football now. You look at your Cancelos, players like this that are the full package, and Dalot is slowly becoming that. I think Wan-Bissaka, we know defensively, is not an issue. He has pocketed Raheem Sterling in the past, you know what I mean? After games he's reached in, Raheem Sterling's there, and Mbappe even to an extent. We've seen him do that, but it's getting further forward where it seems to break down for him. And if he can't really improve in that area, you know, again, a player that's probably not got a future at Manchester United, whereas Dalot seems to have taken the task on. He knows what Erik Ten Hag wants of him, and again, full package. And at Old Trafford on Saturday, 12:30 kickoff, he's going to have to be up and down that field. Dalot will give you that. At least he's going to give you that kind of threat in the final third of the pitch, whereas I don't think Wan-Bissaka would.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he did miss a sitter today, Della, which he should have scored.
Yeah,
but
he
he is much better on the ball. But Wan-Bissaka's getting better, I have to say. He's definitely getting better, and he's playing better under Ten Hag. So hopefully it's good competition there. But lastly, I want to actually just quickly touch on Anthony, before we go on to our man of the matches. I'll start with you, Kev, because we came across this way. I mean, I always think it's good when a player, in my opinion, isn't playing the best, but they've scored the last 2 games. I mean, today was a cracker. Yesterday's was good, getting on the end of that cross. It took commitment. Do you think with Anthony, we like you said, you don't hold price tags, but that left foot is unbelievable. I do sometimes think not being able to go on his right slows the attack down a little bit, maybe. Do you think would you want to switch wings, as Ricky would say? Left foot on the left wing?
Well,
or do you think
the
he's
thing
doing
is,
good?
Ricky we've spoken about inverted wingers, and if Anthony is playing on the right, if we're talking about his left foot being his strongest, about crossing balls in, then he doesn't find himself in that position to score that absolute sort of screamer today. And it got me thinking after the show last time. I'm looking back, at certain players, and they're not really classed as wingers anymore, are they? They are left and right kind of forward players, aren't they? It's a front three, and a lot of teams do seem to do this. They will pick a player whose stronger foot is cutting in on the opposite side, because they can unleash the goal that Anthony has scored today, the same that he scored at the Etihad in the Manchester derby. So maybe there's some kind of football science behind that. But Anthony, listen, it's clear as day. His right foot is purely just for standing on, because there is nothing else that is going on with that right foot. Where I was today, listen, there was a few groans now and again. You know exactly what's coming, because when he's pushed out, even by a team like Charlton, they'd worked it out today. They knew exactly what to do with him. If you can push him to the byline far enough, there is not a chance he's crossing that ball with his right foot. But if he can cut it back on his left, he did do the damage. So one thing I will say with Anthony as well, started Manchester United his career, got on the score sheet, didn't he? First, what was it?
First 3 games.
3 games. It's the all-round performance as well. It's all right, like this evening, saying I've registered a goal. Great goal, don't get me wrong, but as an all-round performance, would you look at that and go, this is brilliant, this guy's cooking, the performances are coming with it? You need a little bit more at Manchester United for me. It needs to be more of an all-round kind of performance.
Absolutely. I think the potential is there. I mean, if he could use that right foot, I think he'd be brilliant. I mean, I'm hoping that he does sort of come. I think, how bad could it possibly be? I mean, even today against Charlton, he had a few opportunities to use it and he didn't. So I was like, I do think he should use it a bit more often, but his left foot is brilliant, and I do think there is more to come from him. And his work rate's great as well, as we've talked about a lot of the times. But I do get frustrated, and I get what you mean, the groans from the crowd sometimes. It's like, just cross it in, because it does slow it down.
You can just see it developing, and then you know exactly what's coming.
And Faz, you're a big Anthony fan. What did you make of him? Do you think he's been positive for United? Are you happy with his goal? Are you happy with the way he's playing?
Firstly, leave Anthony alone. Everybody leave Anthony alone, because we all say, back the manager, whoever he wants. He could want a player from non-league, will back him. So back Anthony the same way. It shouldn't be any different. The price tag, Control Alt Delete. Wipe it from your memory like you never heard of the price tag, because it's not your fault, it's not his fault, it's Mertens and Arnold's fault. And on top of that, this left foot, this is what you're gonna get. He's not gonna go and learn how to cross with his right foot. It's not happening. What is gonna happen though, if and when we get a 6'6" Dutch tall player coming in, you're going to see him cut the ball, and you're going to see that forward. And as the defensive line comes forward, when he cuts in, because that's what they normally do, try and keep the forward offside, you're going to see the striker go in and him crossing the ball. That's what you're going to see, and that's where he'll be able to flourish with his pinpoint crosses from his left foot. He's not doing that right now, because you're not going to get that with Martial. He's not going to be that tall focal point.
You're not going to get it with Langer.
You're not going to get that with Rashford even, right? He's not going to be able to cut in and ping the ball, cross the ball across, or even the forward making, line breaking runs where he can slide the ball through and catch defenders off guard. You're not going to see that as well. Martial at the moment is a bit cold. I was expecting that there will be some sort of link-up play between him and Martial, but I'm not seeing that at the moment. But I think nonetheless, that left foot, goals like that, Man United fans need to get used to it. There's a new school of football that's coming to Old Trafford, and this is it. And we just have to suck it up. I'm tired of Man United fan base saying, right foot, cross it in, forward. No, manager's got a system that he wants to play in. This manager went all out for this particular player. He found him from Brazil, brought him to Ajax, brought him to Manchester United. I'm with him. He gave me that goal in Etihad. He gave me that goal today, and I'm sure he's got plenty of goals. And last time I checked, we paid God knows how much, 80 million for Sancho. Can somebody tell me what he's cooking? Because I can't smell anything. He's not featured in 13, 14 games now. Can someone tell me what he's cooking? Well, I'm waiting. I'll keep waiting. Once he comes back and he gives me a couple of goals like that, a couple of good performances, good defensive duties, not giving the ball away and making us concede goals, then I'll be all right. And we must be critical here as well. Because Anthony's helping his fullback out so much.
That is a massive plus.
You saw against Wolf, Casemiro's clapping. I don't know if you remember
I
clapping.
saw that, we mentioned
Anthony,
it, yeah.
Thank you for saving that goal, because that could have been a goal. You see Dalot hugging him numerous times after the game when he makes a tackle. Thank you for protecting me. You're the reason why I can go and unleash my attacking abilities, because I know that you'll cover. Arsenal game, when he first started, he was smashing into players. For just smashing into players. And that's what we want from your fullback. It's called Track Back FC.
Yeah, well, Minset says, I think Anthony's crucial to the team. He offers something different by cutting inside and recycling when there is no opportunity. What I would say on Anthony, I do think he needs to work on potentially maybe getting to the byline and doing something different, because it is sometimes predictable. But I agree with a lot of what you're saying there. When there's a striker in the box, his crossing from the inside could be great. And I also agree with the fact his work rate is phenomenal. He's a fighter, and that's what we need in the team. We need a fighter, we need mentality. I think there's a lot more to come from him, but a few things that stick out to me. Ricky, anything to come back on that?
Well, I've said numerous times that I prefer right-footed right wingers, left-footed left wingers, and I get it, like Faz is saying, that the manager wants to play how he wants to play. I just believe that you would get better chances for people coming into the box if you played, the opposite way around. People getting to the dead ball line and pulling it back. Rashford did it with his left foot, didn't he, the other day, and it caused the own goal from Cody. That's the type of wing play that I like to see, and I do believe that a left-footed left winger would do that better, and a right-footed right winger would do it better. Doesn't matter how the goals go in, by the way. Connor Cody's goal is equally as important as the great goal Anthony scored tonight. Doesn't matter how they go in.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah.
And I appreciate you say wingers, left foot, right foot, cross it in. But what about the ones that you have overlapping fullbacks, left-footed, left-sided fullback, right-footed, right-sided fullback, who are overlapping and who can cut the ball in, or even Malacia has done it in his previous club, cross the ball in from deep. Roberto Carlos cross the ball in from deep. Wan-Bissaka, we've can't see that, but Dalot again cross the ball in from deep, and they're right foot and left foot. So maybe that's something that we could see potentially if and when a striker comes in.
Yeah.
I would like to utilise Dalot overlapping more. That's one thing. I don't think their partnership's very strong yet. You can see they want it to be, like the way that they act together, they seem close, but they need, when you look at, for example, the Shaw and Rashford partnership, they're on the same wavelength. I would like that from that side, but I think it'll just take time. But I would like to see, when Anthony's there, a lot of the time, he's just passing it back to Dalot here. Dalot needs to come through onto the outside and get the crossing. So maybe it's just precautionary. Maybe we'll see that as it develops. But that's something that definitely could happen. And he's got a great left foot, and that can always be a match winner. But wrapping up the end of the show, because we are in the semi-finals, and who knows who will get in the next round. I think we did our predictions last time. What do you predict, Faz? Who do you think will get in the next round?
I hope it's Forest or Wolves.
Yeah, that's what we hope for.
It's obvious who you've got to hope for. You've got to hope for it to be Southampton.
Well, that
name on the trophy. if Southampton are in the next draw,
you can say
we are going to Wembley.
You can say that, but I think we know what's going to happen in that game, and we usually always seem to get City in a semi-final. But fingers crossed, we'll be positive. Hopefully, it is Forest or Wolves, but we will see on that. And to finish up the end of the show, we'll go back to that super chat that originally got put in, which I really kind of liked the idea of that, and that was our full starting 11s for the derby on Saturday. Who we will play? I think they're going to be similar, give or take a few players. But before we get on to that, we'll do man of the match, actually. So man of the match for you, Kev?
Diagi Butcher for me. Lisandro Martinez. Very impressive.
Yeah, same. Lisandro Martinez as well, yeah.
Lisandro Martinez, full house?
Yeah.
Lisandro Martinez, not going to go McTominay, Ricky?
Oh, he played all right, but not as well as Martinez.
And we're not going to go for any of that normal TV stuff. I'm sure somebody would have given Rashford man of the match because he come on and scored 2. But you have to look on the full reflection of a game, and Martinez was class.
Yeah. I agree with you guys. And also, can I just quickly say, them 2 goals by Rashford were very, very good. He took them well, and that pass from Casemiro through was unbelievable, and then the pass out wide to Pellistri was unbelievable. You just saw pure quality there, and that's what you get from first teamers. A couple of super chats. Harry Pearman says, Ricky, do you like the signing of Weghorst?
Yeah, I do if we can get him, yeah.
He's a Ricky player, definitely.
Yeah, I like him, Weghorst, yeah.
And then David Saint says, the brother with the cap is spot on. So I'm assuming it's about you, Fazzy, that one. So yeah, thank you for the super chats there. And I think you'll like Weghorst, Ricky.
Yeah, big time. I've seen him a few times. I liked him when he played for Burnley against us. He was a right handful.
Not if he displaces Martial, though.
Won't displace him, he'll be a backup to him.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's going to happen.
Gonna displace
10-20 minutes of a game.
I hope he displaces him.
You hope he displaces Martial?
I hope so. I'm not going to, no.
Get out of town, Faz.
No. I hope he does, man. I'm tired of Mr. Black Glove model, man. I'm tired. Mr. Black Gloves, man. He scores goals and doesn't smile. That alone is enough for me.
Ooh, maybe we'll have another debate on the United stand with Martial Faz, because we've got the runner of the Martial fan club over here in Ricky, and we've got anti-Martial in Faz.
He's the gatekeeper. I'm the one with the key trying to pick the gate.
If Weghorst gets in at number 9, Martial might play at 10. Bruno might.
Can you imagine? Martial, French media. Weghorst came and took my shirt. I was performing well, and he took my shirt. Get out of here, man.
He won't take his place. It'll be the 10-20 minutes to go. Option off the bench that can score a header, and someone in the box you can put crosses to him. I mean, Charlton's putting him in, Eriksen's putting him in. I mean, it's something different, but we'll get onto that debate another day. Nextly, well, this might come into consideration for this, the lineups for the derby. What would our ideal lineups be? We'll go along the panel. Kev, quickly, sum up your lineup for me for the City game.
I'm just thinking if we can do this as a collective, because I think we can all agree De Gea in net.
Yeah,
Luke Shaw left back.
Yeah.
Martinez, Varane, if fit, Dalot.
If fit, yeah.
And this is where
do the front three and then we come back to the midfield.
Okay, the front 3 for me personally would be Anthony on the right.
I was going to say Sancho. No, I'm joking. Psych.
Phil Jones.
I mean, imagine bringing him back in for the City game. It'd be unexpected. But Anthony on the right, we are in agreement with that.
Yeah.
Martial as striker, are we in agreement with that? And Rashford on the left, in agreement with that, exactly. So, I mean, when Weghorst came in, would you change your mind?
Yeah.
No. Well,
45, that's how I do it. I do it 45.
We'll see how many minutes he does get when he comes in, but there's going to be big debates coming up on that subject with us. But midfield...
It's this midfield.
It's going to be Casemiro's locked in for everybody, isn't it?
Yeah.
For me, yeah.
And then the next 2... I would go, I think, oh God, it's so tough. I would go, for this game, Bruno and Fred.
So you'd leave Eriksen out?
For this game, I think so.
Oh, come on, Beth.
I know, I don't want to. I really rate Eriksen, but I think Fred, for this game, with his energy, his tenacity.
For this game, and considering it's Manchester City, even though it's at Old Trafford, the threat that Manchester City pose, I'm going Casemiro, Fred and Eriksen just a little bit further forward. There is not a starting place for Bruno. Controversial, I don't know, but that is my thoughts on Manchester City and out of Scotland. And that is why I'm not a football manager. And Erik ten Hag is our manager.
I'm not far behind you. I would put McTominay, Casemiro and Eriksen.
Tony, Casemiro and Eriksen, Faz?
I would put Bruno, Casemiro, and Fred has one good game a year, but it seems like he's gonna have a few. So based on that, I wanna take a bit more risk on Fredinho, as I like to call him, and yeah, I'd go with Fred.
I'm just picking games against City.
I'm just picturing McTominay taking down Kevin De Bruyne versus Fred taking down, one of Man City's midfielder. Can I picture it? Is the question, and I don't think I can picture Fred kind of going, hard on any Manchester City player. Just see him running around and trying to chase shadows. But I think I'll just go.
What he does with the ball when he gets it, isn't it? If you've got Casemiro, the general, breaking up play, Fred can just carry that ball a bit further forward. If he can then get his head up and you've got the likes of Rashford, Martial and Anthony.
Beth.
What?
Sometimes that's the hard bit, just giving it 5 yards.
I know, but he seems to be
Sometimes
doing it a lot
I'm
better
saying
recently.
He is doing it better.
Do you not get me wrong? I'm really impressed with Ericsson, and I really like him. But I just think in this game, we need someone that is just got that bit more energy for me, and that would be Fred. But everyone's got a different opinion. Get in the chat down below who yours would be. Quite a few people go in the Casemiro, Ericsson, Bruno, the usual midfield three. Bruno will captain the team Saturday. I'm sure he will. He definitely won't get dropped. But some people would want that. So it's interesting to see different opinions. I think we need that aggression. We need them legs. And someone says, for me, Bruno on the right, Ericsson and Freddy Miro. Bruno on the right is interesting. I would never want to see Bruno play on the right again, personally. In agreement with that?
Yeah.
Yes. But everyone, thank you so much for getting your chats in tonight. We've really, really appreciated it. I mean, 3-0 at home to Charlton. We're into the semi-final, and who knew we'd have so much to talk about after what would seemingly be a straightforward win to get into the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. And could it be the first trophy on the cards for Eric Ten Hag? We'll have to wait and see. By the end of Feb, we'll know. But look, thank you everyone for coming on the show. Thank you, Faz, for coming in as well. Brilliant tonight, brilliant opinions, and put yourself across really well. So thanks for that.
Great debut.
Thank you very much.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Great debut in the studio. But thank you everyone as well for getting your super chats in and getting your chats in the comments. We love hearing from you guys. And also, thank you for the artwork as well. I'll show it again. Little Sam's Art, Instagram and Twitter. It's brilliant. Get yourself over there and get yourself some artwork. It's not sponsored. He's just absolutely brilliant. So make sure you get yourself over there. But thank you everyone. Get in the comments down below who you think will get in the cup. Are we going to win the cup? Are we going to Wembley? But thanks for watching. Have a good night, everyone, and we'll see you for the derby.